Well, the markets crash after today's negative jobs report, first negative report since 2020. That was back during the pandemic era. Man, it is Friday, September 5th, 2025. If you guys like the video and the content, give it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in swing trading, day trading, live day trading, gamma exposure, all sorts of stuff, technical analysis, come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Let's get into it here. It is Friday, a lot to cover here. And yeah, definitely a eventful day to say the least. A lot of volatility. I thought it was September. What happened the last 2 days? No volatility. Finally, we get some. You can see the IWM there in the corner of my screen. Lots of whipsaw and a lot of stuff to cover. Maybe even a little bit of macro-related data here too. But let's take a look at the markets today. So we did finish off the lows, and if you've caught the morning video this morning, by the way, again, the best morning video ever. Really, everybody agrees, don't they? You can see we had a gap up here, and it was definitely a pump and dump gap and crap type deal. Yeah, 652 to 643, a 90-point move in about an hour, about 90 minutes or so. And we gave away the low of the day, and this was something I scalped myself at 64.50, and we actually got it a little bit lower. I think we wanted that piercing. When you have this kind of volume here, you want to look for a little bit of a pierce, and my entry was at 64.56, and I was looking for about 88, and we hit that and got a nice little exit there on that day trade. So that was a nice little rebound play, and it ended up being the low of the day. You can see here a daily chart ES, that rising wedge is tight, really tight. We'll get into more of that right now, but we'll cover the rest of the day here. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. And yeah, you're going to hear about the 6,500 handle as I talk about every day. But I find this fascinating here. So if you take a look at the payroll matrix, usually Goldman or JPM or both of them will do these types of things before CPI and such. And the expected number this morning was, I think it was like 73,000, which it's funny. I talked about it. As soon as I saw that earlier this week, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a huge beat. Like they lowballed it. And then, Trump firing the BLS head last month, I was like, they're going to, it's going to be 150,000 gained, right? And no, so we actually had 22,000. And by the way, last night we had to change stance because he said, the real data, everybody agrees, don't they? The real data it'll be in a year. So then I was like, oh man, we're going to have a terrible number. And I also mentioned earlier this week when I was talking about Neil Kashkari, again, read between the lines, right? Oh, we'll have a soft, a gentle decline in the economy. Again, that's his way of telling you he's seen the data and it's not good, right? So it wasn't just that we had below 40K, which was like half, it was like a third of what was expected. We had the revision from June to a negative. It was a negative print. So the first one since 2020. Okay, that's the whole long and short of it. But what do we have here? Below 40K, their estimate, 0.25 down to 0.75. This is something we picked up on yesterday in the afternoon. And again, this is why there's so much value in the trading room, because I was able to see this iron condor at the close yesterday, and it was bigger earlier, but you can see this is like in the middle of the day. But that's the low end, 64.50. Okay, can we do simple math here? We closed at 6,500 yesterday. What's 0.0075? Right, it's like 49 points. Oh, 64.50, right? So somebody was trading right off of this, right? Maybe it was JP Morgan. Maybe it was just these numbers tend to get around beforehand. But yeah, that was the expected move, and that helped us catch the low of the day. A couple other things though. So that was just a little tidbit I found interesting. But a couple other things about this sell. From what I can see, it came from the futures, not ODTE, and it wasn't really profit taking, so to say. The reason I know that is a pretty good volume on the futures there. There's good volume on SPY as well. It'll probably get up to 100 million after the after hours, but it wasn't ODTE, and it's not a coincidence that Carnivore Aaron, Gamma Boy Aaron, says every single day in these videos till he's blue in the face. 6,500, right? Like, it's probably not a coincidence that we're seeing, like, every time we get there, like somebody comes in and whacks it, right? What happened last week, right? Gap down. We closed up there, gap down, right? This time here, we got close, we got hit. A few weeks ago, even it tried to gap up there on that Friday, and it came all the way back down. So unless you think that XYZ mutual funds all took profits like at this exact call wall, they don't know about that. They don't care about this stuff. It came from the futures, right? So that's where this move came from. Now, to be fair, the Russell and the Nasdaq closed green. That's positive. That's definitely a positive. And we came off the lows. We didn't engulf, but you can see clearly 64.50 is a big line in the sand. We lose that on Monday. If we gap below that, this market's in trouble. The reason why I say that is I just don't. I mean, again, the dealer level, but like I tweeted about this morning too, and you can see it. We'll show you the look earlier because I want you to see what it looked like pre-market in case you weren't checking it out. Like that, we're this close to all-time highs, right? It's just not a good I mean, I know RSI is like a flawed indicator, but it's just not a position you want to try to break out from. And you can see it's now down here. I wonder if Broadcom was up 2% instead of adding an AMD to their market cap in one day, how much would this market be up here? They clearly used Broadcom to, prop this market up. A little bit of Tesla too, because Nvidia was not strong today. It came off the lows, but it was not strong. AMD was not strong today. That's not good. Microsoft, rejection at the 50 and 20 necktie. Right, the last time we were below the 50 and the 20 on Microsoft was like here at the lows in April. So we're definitely seeing some deterioration here in Mag 7, and that's where I'm at. So again, 6,500 over and over and over again. That's the big thesis here. And I know it feels like we've been going up and up and up every day, but we're sideways. We've been sideways, if you want to include here even, like we've been sideways since the end of July, basically. So that's where I'm at. I just don't see us getting much past that. Now you might say, well, what about next week? It's Vanna Charm Week. It's funny how this term's really getting around now. You got to understand though that Vanna Charm, the reason why it works is it's really based off of like put decay. The closer you are to expiry, right? If charts aren't damaged. And to be fair, the chart isn't damaged. But we hit the upper expected move. Like, I don't know what they're like. Where do they have to buy back to? You got 20 points. So I don't know if it's going to help that much. And it's not so much like, it means you melt up. It just means dips get supported. So maybe we just chop until OPEX. That's possible too. CPI next week as well. I don't see rate cut odds changing, but it could be interesting. Now, again, just be aware, I've been saying this as well. Narrative changes quickly, right? It's, rate cuts are bullish, rate cuts are bullish. How fast, how long till we see Bill Ackman and David Rosenberg crying on TV because the Fed's not cutting fast enough? Look at TLT today. Congrats, bulls. You finally got one. I got to give it to you. You got it. That is a power gap above the 200 with volume. Gap and go day. That's strong. And TLT blew out dealer levels big time. I mean, 87.50 was all priced in. That's all it was priced in, really. Closed $1 above that. That's a big 1.5% is big for TLT. So congrats to that. Nice job there. ZT up, but it did come off the highs by the end of the day. So a lot going on here. Again, overall, from a technically speaking, yeah, you got higher lows. You got, but I don't love I just don't love the upside risk reward here. Now, maybe I'll be wrong next week and we just moon through this, but I just see leadership deteriorating here. Speaking of things that have mooned, 240. Told you guys a while back. This was the big tail, and this level keeps coming up, right? We talked about that with Apple with the 230 area, and then 240. I think there was something like UNH or something else. I can't remember what else, but the IWM 230, right? But 240 kept coming up, right? Their high of the day, 239.68. It's there, right? So it took a while, but this pattern was never bearish, ever, not once. You know, just how markets work. They go up and then they go sideways, right? And then they go up, then they go sideways. So IWM was strong, and I'll give that to the bulls here. Dow was also, was down, but you do have an inside bar pattern here. Sometimes these can fail though at the highs though. Just be aware of that. Like the last couple times right there, a nice pennant, failed, flag, failed. Right here, kind of flag that failed. So just be aware. But those are my thoughts right now. SMH here up 1.18. Again, how much of that? If Broadcom was flat, I mean, look, Nvidia down almost 3, AMD down 6.58. I know TSM was up, but that's not even in those ETFs. And it's not in the Nasdaq 100. But I mean, like AMAT, Qualcomm, some of these were okay, but the big leaders were not. IGV, that did get a nice bid of 1.25. Was down earlier, and then it came back pretty nicely. I think Oracle got a bounce. CRM came back a little bit today too. Transports here finished red. Still have the green bar there, but this is a really choppy pattern. So you have a nice rebound on the weekly, but that outside red there, you got to get above that on a weekly close to negate it. 2-year. There's the VIX here. By the way, positioning on the VIX still. Hedge funds are max short, banks max long. Just FYI. But yeah, 2-year at basically multi-year lows here. So it looks like this does want to go lower. Maybe it gets a quick bounce, but it does look like it wants to go lower. On the long end, very good outside move. Love the wick. So as a bear for yields, if I was going to be a bear here, I would love that wick. I just want to remind everyone that the long-term trend is still up here. That doesn't mean yields can't come down, but this is still a big consolidation pattern here. So, but right now, that's like I said, you cannot deny that price action in TLT. That is a power pattern. It's just like what Microsoft did with this gap here. It's just like what Spiders did here with this gap here. So TLT is strong here for now. XHB, still shaking my fist at this. I wanted to get in at 14.50 or 60 yesterday and just went. So this is loving the rates coming down, and yeah, it's sniffing out all-time highs. So I don't know if it's going to go straight there, but there's a lot of supply up here. But yeah, good pattern there. And I liked the pattern back in June and July. But I made the dunce move and I picked IYR instead because I feel, okay, nice descending, broadening pattern here, nice bull flag. Maybe it'll catch up. We'll see. Can't win them all. XLF engulfing. Careful here. It made a new all-time high, and then it closed. It made a new all-time high, and then it closed at the lows of the week and closed below last Friday's low. So yeah, it closed below last week's low and made a new all-time high. Careful. Pay attention to banks. JPM, Goldman, Morgan Stanley down. KRE, it held the lows of the day, but it did, come back in pretty good. So no damage, but definitely good reversal. Broker dealers were down too. Possible little head and shoulder there. Has not triggered yet though. Oil continuing down here. This looks like a confirmed. Yeah, it's basically all but confirmed lower high. 3 lower highs. Careful with oil. I would not buy 60 now because we have a lower high set up. I would have bought it if we had gone like this into it, but you bounced and now you got a lower high there. So I would not pick that up. Maybe if it pierced and then reclaimed, but that's it. XLE came down too. Can't get follow through on this, so you can't buy follow through on this. Right. XOP as well, but XOP lately has been a little bit better than XLE, I've noticed. Right, kind of came back in towards that trend line. OIH, this was actually okay too. In fact, I noticed that it was just like the big producers, Chevron, Exxon, and Conoco. Forgive me if I didn't see news. I was very busy all day long. So I noticed it was like just this 3. Um, yeah, in the energy space, it looked like it was just, okay, so it was just like the XLE names mostly. But anyway, not to waste too much time here. But big day though. Here's an interesting one. Dollar was down, but it held the low of the week. This should have been down way more with bonds down as much as they were. So I don't know if there's something to that. Maybe again, there's just too many shorts in it. Or perhaps like it got a bid because the long end got a bid. We'll see. I don't like this pattern though. It's weak. Gold, gold, gold. I finally sold my UGL runner, and that was a huge gain. Again, you know, again, listen to gold here. There's a reason why I was like, okay, something's going on, because we saw this in GLD at, you know, right here, and we jumped on that trade, and it paid out nicely. So yeah, gold was the gold market was sniffing this out. I don't think it goes much past 330 though. They did close it above that today though. I wouldn't bet against it. Miners still made a higher high, but I don't think it goes much past 330. We'll see if that changes. Silver came off the highs. That makes a little bit more sense with the data that we had, given the industrial component. But SIL made a new high and a new weekly closing high. So I gotta give the metals the benefit of the doubt here, but I wouldn't buy them. I wouldn't chase them here. Platinum flat, don't love it. Palladium down, don't love it. Copper down, don't even care about it. And then crypto here, actually exited our ETH runner here at like the perfect time this morning. Got out right before this little slice. It did come off the lows. I did think it would close green today, but let me see. Maybe that goes up. That might have there's a little minor buy signal on that right now. But it wasn't worth it to me at this point. We'll see. Bitcoin's still a little soft here. It's just got to hold this green bar here right now on ETH. But kind of an uneventful day in crypto, all things considered. But the crypto was stronger than the stock market though. When yesterday it was weaker. But yeah, overall, yeah, I know I say it over and over again, but there's a reason for it, guys. I know this is a longer video too, but there's a lot that happened today. So, but yeah, 6,500. That's it. I'm just going to make the title of every video from now on. So, unless it breaks. So, anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here again. You guys take care. Have a great weekend. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all next week.